All right, we are back. Still got the man bun going on and everything. So slowly coming out of the holiday hangover. Hopefully everyone had a good New Year's and Christmas. No, I've been away for a couple of weeks, so again, hopefully everyone had a good and safe time for that. A lot of people were asking where have I been, and honestly was just taking a break. Body, mentally, all needed it. Just out here walking while the two rascals are doing their thing because I didn't work out today, so I'm just getting my steps in. So that's why I'm doing the walk and talk. A nice Aaron Sorkin reference there. No, just honestly need a break. Last few months of the year was really going hard in the paint on their training, and it really didn't become fun anymore. Was just doing it because I am a stickler, and would just do it because I knew in my mind I had to do it. But in doing so, it wasn't very productive. I saw a lot of the training videos and they were kind of sloppy. Training was going, but they weren't productive. So it was like more busy than getting anything out of it. So that's where I just took a mental and physical break. But in doing so, I did continue to train them. I'm not gonna stop training them, but what I was training them and how I was training them kind of differed. And that's where I was doing more, I would call it more foundation work, going back to basics, especially with Ava and her focus heels and her fronts, especially her turns, because her turns, when she was turning, she would often, and all the time, often, that's being generous, but all the time, drop her head when she's doing a turn and look around and loses focus on me. So again, I was still training them, but going back to very foundation stuff and going back to luring, not so much on the leash or anything like that, but just using more hands-on practicality of certain things. If this really interests you, I'll do another video on the turns of the focus heel, what I found to help, what has helped me. But I also went back to hand feeding, which was something I often preach, always preach, especially with people who got new puppies, especially during the Christmas break and New Year's. A lot of people were asking about puppies and how they should do it. So just start with hand feeding, and crate training is usually my default. Got a few good questions about puppies, so I'll be answering questions in the next couple of videos, next few days. But honestly, was going back to hand feeding. Again, I've often preached it, always said it, but I kind of strayed away from it. They were just feeding them loosely, but I would train them with food. But again, to really develop their drive and that hunger and that obedience, went back to hand feeding, and that has been a game changer again. So just again, food for thought. When you're not getting something out of your training like you used to be, or you're kind of plateauing, it's okay to give your dog a break. It's okay to give you a break. Reassess what's working and what's not working and what you want to improve on, and then just go back to basics, which would be, in this case, a lot of hand feeding in order to create that drive and to create that obedience and that connection. New Year's resolutions, I got a couple. Finish off last year checking some boxes. Hopefully you guys did too. On the business front, still going, still plugging away. Go watch the video I made, I think back in November sometime, of, I think it was year one, I think is the title, something like that, some kind of Batman reference. And you can understand how I felt about how the first year of Strong Dogs really went. Rocking the brand right there. But going forward, I always recommend having at least 3 goals if you are one for resolutions. Resolutions is just quote unquote another way to say goals, and obviously I'm very goal oriented, and actually was talking to a couple of clients about this, and it turns out on average the most successful clients that I have always have goals, no matter what they are. It doesn't mean you have to put them on a vision board like a lot of people do, but they do have goals, and they do check that list at the end of the year to see how much they checked and how much they did not check. So it's just funny how that works. More successful they are, more goals they had, more times they do an inventory of how it went. It's funny how that works. So this year, and if go back a second, I always say have a couple goals if you're very goal oriented and want to do this, is have one that are challenging, just outside of an arm reach, just outside of, doable, ones that, are so obscene. Though I do love obscene goals, because those are the ones that you really strive for. And even if you don't reach them, you're going to get pretty fucking far. It's kind of like the old adage is perfection is unattainable, but excellence will be tolerated. So have your goals. I have mine. I'll share them here in a second, but you should always have something to strive for, so it just keeps you more engaged in life and learning and being productive and things of that nature. So this way, you're always growing, you're always improving. Mine are usually in threes, usually one physical, which this year I'm going to try and get up to 210 pounds, get out of pain, because last year, if anyone who's been watching for any length of time knows, dealt with a lot of injuries last year. So this year would be getting out of pain, but at the same time, or I have been getting out of pain, don't get me wrong, but managing it, because I think I'm going to be living with pain for the rest of my life. Just facts of getting older and using this body like I stole it is just part of the deal. So I'm keep looking down because I'm dodging bullets here, because like I said, I didn't do shit, but they did a lot of shit this past couple of weeks. So yeah, manage some of the injuries and pain is still dealing with, but get up to 210 pounds, currently at 197, which means I want to get my deadlift and my squat up. Bench I'm okay with, but those two lifts are always my favorite and always the hardest. So for me, I want to get up to 210, get my bench and squat, get the squat and deadlift up. Then you should have one professionally, which for this case will be the company, still working on it. And then one that's emotional. So on the mental side, for me, it'd be continue to learn new shit that I didn't think I'd be interested in, or didn't think I'd learn, or didn't think I'll ever use. So just continue to learn new shit, but at the same time, have better patience, because patience is not a virtue of mine at all. But like Gary V recently posted, it's one of those things like when you needed to hear it, it comes up. So to think it was bigger the ambition, longer you have to wait. I.e., longer you have to wait means you got to have better patience. So for me is always to say more patient and more grounded, and not always focusing on the result, because where I want to get these dogs and the company are infinite. That's more of a cynic way of thinking, which I totally agree with. It's more of an infinite way. So the result is so far out of reach that you can't focus on it, that I need to stop focusing on the result and focus more on the action. And that's where it's always the fun stuff. Sometimes I get caught up, and just like with people, get so caught up on the result. Oh, it's not getting result, they're not good. It's that constant feedback wheel of, oh, that shit didn't work, so that means people aren't gonna think I'm good, or some shit like that. It's usually more of a fear-based thing. So you need to get out of that mindset a little bit and stay grounded and focus on the action. And sometimes the training or the action doesn't work out that day. Doesn't mean I didn't try. Doesn't mean I didn't put any effort into it. It just means that it didn't work out that day. And that's where, doing those, couple weeks of a break of, being honest with myself about their training and how it's going, really helped. Because again, once I accepted that, you know, I didn't like how it was going, where I wanted to do, and start reassessing and retraining them on certain things. Even Ace is getting a lot better on some of the stuff that he was doing. They got more enjoyment out of it, and so did I, because now, one, the enjoyment level was there. It wasn't doing it out of pressure or forcing on myself. It was coming out of just pure enjoyment because I love training them and they like being trained and getting food. So that was it. Just, I guess, encompassing would be for me on top of patience is just staying grounded and not getting so anxious and worked up about, you know, stuff's not going as fast as it should or that I want it. You can't force certain things, you know, just like with, I guess when I was playing golf, or now redoing my swing a little bit to make it a little bit more efficient. It's going through that awkward phase. You know, right now swing feels like crap because I'm changing it, but I know with time it's going to be more efficient, and same thing with them. But you can have enjoyment while doing it because you're not focusing on the result. You're just focusing on the action, and the act of it is where you should be enjoying it and having fun with, and that's what I've been doing with them. So it's been fun to see. So those are mine. I guess it would be mentally, summing up really quick. Mentally, stay patient, stay grounded. Physically, again, pump up the weight. I'm also doing a dry January. We'll see how far past I go. If I go past January, great. If I don't, but at least I can check that box. And then I guess on a professional level will be continue to grow the business and this channel. So that is it. That's what I've been up to. Not a whole lot, just been still training but taking it easy, so getting out of the holiday hangover. So hopefully everyone's back to work and back to kicking 2024 in the ass. Hopefully you had a great 2023. If you didn't, guess what? You got another year to kick this one in the balls, so this way you can do what you want to do with this life. So with that, continue sending your questions. Like I said, got a couple of great questions to still shoot and film because seems like everyone got a lot of puppies this holiday season, so people were asking about them. So I'll go ahead and start knocking those out. Continue to start knocking out more how-to videos. If there's something specific you want to see, go ahead and leave in a comment section. Go ahead, email it to me at strongdogsusa@gmail.com, or just shoot me a DM on Instagram. So, but that's it. Hopefully you guys got some epic goals that you want to knock out. And trying to think, anything else? What do you think? You guys got anything else? He's sitting down like a good boy. Ava, don't mind all the shit in the grass. Like I said, I've been dodging landmines because I didn't pick anything up this week. So leave it with that. So hopefully you had a great 2023. Kick 2024 right in the ass out of the gate. So third day, get out of the hangover, go back to work, keep training your dog, have fun. Good luck. Talk to you next time. Done.